Well, good morning, hello, or evening, night, late in the midnight hour, whenever you might be watching this. But for me, it's morning. And I was sitting here with my cards, giving myself a reading, just kind of talking to my people because today is my birthday. And I sit with my people, my spirit people, all the time. But on my birthday, it's kind of become a thing where I pull cards for myself because for me, that's the new year. That's the beginning of the new year. And I usually share my cards, my personal read or some of my personal readings anyway, on my blog, and I'm going to do that again this year. I'm not going to go through all the cards that I pulled for myself, but I wanted to share these last two cards that I pulled from my Oracle deck, the Oracle of Great Mystics. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one that this message would apply to. So, I pulled this card, Light Cave, and I pulled Mama Gaia. Now, this is after, like I said, I've pulled a bunch of tarot cards. I just wanted to kind of close out the reading with a couple of oracle cards just to make sure that I'm in line with it, that I'm understanding what my people were trying to say to me and what I need to do for my life for this new year of mine. So, the Light Cave card. I can read the book first. I'll read the book first and then I'll give my thoughts about what this card means. This card, Light Cave. Illusion and diversity, multitudes within. Through it you pass, a beacon in the darkness, over the crunch of gravel and the touch of stone beneath your fingers on the walls of the cave. You trace your steps deeper, the light ever brighter. The glow is warm and soft, and at the same time hot and harsh. It is the flickering of a fire casting misleading shadows as the witches of old had prophesied, and all the while you follow it. In those waving lights you reach for truth and the illumination they provide, but your hands pass through nothing, and you grasp only confusion. The light grows and touches you, and it knows you. It is playful and serious, and it bats at you to engage. You let it wash over you and are enlightened by taking that risk. What is real and what is not does not matter, so long as you believe that there is more. Somewhere out there is the real world, and the light is proof of that. Just because your hands cannot find it, does that make it any less real? Illumination. I step into the light of knowledge and life. I do not search for darkness or enter out of fear. And the now is where I will succeed, where I will find my knowledge and my place. I know of my power, the light showing what was always there, and I am responsible for what happens next. I will treat myself with the love I see I deserve. No one else able to see what I see. I give thanks, for in the now I see what I deserve. And then the Mama Gaia card. Now, look closely at this image here. Mama Gaia, success in life cycles and family ahead, harmony, beauty and aging. I am metamorphosis and age. Life cycles atop an unchanging bedrock of love. I rest in black soil and warm wind, loving my signs of age and experience, reminding me of the lives I have touched. scars and wrinkles, a small price for all the gifts I have brought. My interactions with the material, I will gain synergy, life, and happiness, becoming one with me. I will seek nature in my daily life, my heart filled as a bird's song reaches my ear. I see the carpenters wonder at the grain of a tree knocked over by a storm, carefully shaped into a table that will last generations. I seek peace and harmony with all things. I press my hand to Mama Gaia's chest, and I read the steady beating of her heart. I step back from those I have nurtured. My voice is soft as sand and furious as the sky, and my time of involvement comes to an end. I allow the leaves to fall and they become one with Mama Gaia again, affirming oneness. I am the earth, I am the earth and the wind. From my seat I feel her, from my seat I become her, and I am at peace, I am at peace. I pity the stamp of metal. I am life. I am my love and teachings. My love and teachings are unforgotten, so I will live always. I am the earth. I am the earth and the wind. So I wanted to share those because my cards today. Well, let me take it back a little bit further. My cards last year were all the overarching thing of my cards from last year was about me stepping into my Empress energy. I call it my Empress energy, my boss lady energy, where I've always had boss lady in me. I've always kind of had that little touch of go get 'em in me, as evidenced by a lot of the decisions that I've made in my life, which some people would find questionable. You know, and looking back, some of them I find questionable too. But I did what I did, and I lived. I'm still here to tell the story. But also gotten beat up a little bit, by life. It's to be expected. That's what life does. Um, and so I was at a time in my life last year where it seemed like the harder I fought, the more things fell apart. I've been in that space a few times in my life, but last year just kind of kind of took the cake because I'm still not that far removed from being at a very, very low point. So I'm like, dang, I'm here again, or I'm this close to it again. It don't seem right. What did I do wrong? So anyway, I started to really reconnect with my peoples. Now, I had gotten back into reading, reading the cards and stuff like that on a regular basis. But then what had happened was I got a pendulum. Well, I had had a pendulum. I got a board with letters on it, and I was able to find out for sure who the spirits were around me, and began to nurture a relationship with them, and they began to nurture a relationship with me, and life changed. And this change is not overnight. Change is a process. And so, I wanted the stuff to happen overnight. I did. I wanted to just wake up and everything was over. But that's not how it happened. And I knew this. I knew better. I knew better. And so this is something, for me, I found it to be true no matter, whether I'm the dedicated church going girl that I used to be. I was in church every Sunday, every Wednesday night. I did my Bible study lessons all throughout the week. Or I'm the girly who dabbles in a little bit of hoodoo and conjure, and I venerate my ancestors. Or I'm the girl who is kind of into the law of attraction stuff, and now I'm manifesting all type of things, left and right, left and right. I see it, I want it. I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. It all works. It all works. It's just, you have to. You can't be hot or cold. You can't be hot or cold, but you can't be, or no, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry, I got twisted. You can't be lukewarm with it. That's what I meant to say. You can't be lukewarm. You have to be hot or cold, this or that, right? So whatever you do that. It all works. You just got to choose which one you want to work for you. So, yeah, I've always found that life tends to be a lot easier for me when I spend time talking to God. Not just complaining, but actually spending time just meditating and, being in prayer or being in the Bible, regardless, you ain't got to believe in the Bible if you don't want to, that's your business. But for me, um, I don't call myself a Christian at all, but I respect it. I respect it. But I know God to be real, you know, and I know that the other side, once we leave these bodies, the other side, it definitely exists. And people who died long before I was born have been having my back my entire life and helping me to see and navigate through things. And so this past year, has been about me reclaiming that fighter and that queen, that empress in me, that goddess energy, you know, because sometimes anxiety gets the best of me and I end up forgetting. I get so caught up in things, how I'm gonna pay my light bill, Lord, you know, or, oh gosh, I need gas in my car, or stuff like that. And end up losing focus. And then everything just kind of crumbles apart. And then I can't do my work. I can light my candles, but they're not as effective. They're not as effective because it's like, girl, you got to get on the same frequency. It's literally like a radio. You got to tune in to the right channel in order to get the things that you need to have and want to have. And so this card, The Light Cave, is about finding the light in those dark places, those dark and potentially dangerous places. And I've been in some dark places, So while I'm asking now, okay, so that's what the card said last year. Now, what do y'all have for me this year? Good, bad, ugly. Just let me have it. And so, my folks, they recapped this past year how I really spent a lot of time in isolation, which I do that anyway. I'm naturally, by nature, I'm a loner. I'm good by myself. I don't mind my company. But it ended up being kind of unintentional this year. Just everybody busy. Everybody got lives and stuff. And so, a lot of this and a lot of this type of communication and this type of spiritual work that I do, it's a lonely road, period. There's not a whole lot of people that can relate to it. And so, here we are, or here I am. I say we all the time because I know they're here, But, this is what it is for me. So, a lot of these struggles, I have support, I have love. There are people around me, alive, that love and support me. But at the end of the day, it was just me. It was me, and it was my little ghost friends who who fought these battles, who wiped my tears. My little spirit friends and family who I can't see. I mean, I catch a shadow every so often, but I can't physically see them. But I know they're around because, I be having shit moving around in here, and I'm like, I sat here and watched stuff move with nobody touching, or seemingly nobody touching. So I know they be in here. I got security cameras inside in the other room, and they're constantly being set off. I've had multiple security cameras that constantly are set off by things that aren't there. So I know they're here. I know they're here. But, you know, sometimes I wish I could see them, you know. But it's just been me and them wiping my tears when I'm sitting here having a nervous breakdown, sitting here on the floor, going through. And again, not everybody can relate to that. Not the crying on the floor part, but I'm saying, the crying and having a bunch of spirits wipe your tears. And so that's not something that I can share with everybody. And it also lends itself to what this book says about how, not everybody's going to know what you need. You know what you need. If you take the time to really do your inner work to find yourself, you know what you need. It says somewhere out there is the real world, and the light is proof of that. So, everything that I just said, I mean, about all this extra activity going on in my house and ain't nobody there. For me, that's proof. Somebody else, they got an explanation for it, but it don't matter because it's not their life, it's mine. And I'm of relative sound mind and body, but that just really summed up a lot of what my card said to me today about how now it's in my hands. The very first card I pulled was the Magician card, and the next one was the Seven of Cups. And so it's literally this ability to make things happen, which is represented by the Magician, and then the Seven of Cups, which represents it is your head in the clouds, and it could be illusion, but it's also a card of choices. Because what do you have? You're looking up at the sky and you got 7 cups filled with all of these different things. Which cup do you want? It's up to you, basically. It's like you know what you want, you know what you need. And I feel like this light cave, in this particular reading, this light cave card, is right in line with the combination of the Magician and the Seven of Cups. But this card here, Mama Gaia, I absolutely love it because that's exactly where I am today, especially since today is my birthday. I'm saying it again. Because I'm still young-ish, My people have told me that I will live a very long life. And so that means I got many, many more years left to go. But I'm still not as young as I was, And that's okay. I like this stage in my life. There was, when I was in my 20s, when I was in my early 20s, I didn't, today seemed like it was so far away. It seemed like, oh, it's going to be forever before this day came. But now it's here. And I'm okay with it. I'm happy about it. Because not everybody makes it. I got classmates who died years ago. Like I'm still under 40, just well into my 30s. Yeah, I got classmates who didn't make it to this point. But I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And body has changed. I look at myself back when I was 21, And I was thinking that, oh, I was thick, I was fat. Yeah. I wish I had my 21-year-old body now, but it's okay because I appreciate the body that I have. I have a lot more love and respect for the body that I have now that I wish I'd had back then when I was 21. This body has been through some things. This body has experienced childbirth, which you can hear that child in the background. But this body has experienced child loss. This body has experienced the grief of losing a mother who passed away way too young. This body has traveled all over the country in a sprinter van, driving by myself cross country to make a life for the child that's in the other room. This body has written books. This body has gotten me through the times where I had to help to take care of my mother in her dying days, and take care of my uncle in his dying days when they fell to the floor. My body was the one that picked up their bodies. My body was strong enough to pick up theirs from the floor. And so I'm okay with my stretch marks, and it's a lot. It's a lot happening right there. But just the image of this lady right here, I love her. This is a body that's obviously very well fed. This is a body where, we eat good. We eat good. And when I say we, I mean me and my ancestors, because I leave plates out for them. When I cook, matter of fact, I need to go in there right now. I got some beans I need to put on the stove. But when I cook, they eat. you know, I got a little extra chin now that wasn't there a few years ago. It's okay. It's okay. I can lose it. It's okay. And that's really what I've pulled from this. Like, there were, some of the more unpleasant parts of the reading. It's like the battle is not over. And I think that was part of my issue with 4, and why I ended up going through some things that I went through in the last 2 or 3 years, because I felt like, dang, I should have learned this lesson already. Like, why am I back here? Like, I worked so hard to get away from this stage of not having nothing. Like, I'm tired of being broke. Damn it. Like, I've read the books, and I've listened to the podcasts, and I've worked, and like, I'm putting out resumes, and I'm doing this. Like, why is my money still funny? Why am I still trying to figure out how I'm going to pay these bills? And now I'm feeling defeated because I feel like I'm not doing enough, or like what I'm doing ain't right. I'm still making shitty choices. That's what it feels like. It's like, no, your choices are not that. It's not that your choices are bad. They're not. It's just, this is part of it. And Lord, rest is resistance. But child, I'm not in the place where I can really resist right now, because I got to put in work. But this is the work that I'm doing for me and for my seed. So while there are going to be some things that I'm going to be able to enjoy this next year, I'm going to make sure I prioritize my joy this year. But I know I won't be able to fully enjoy the fruits of my labor just yet. And I understand it now. I don't think I quite grasped that 3-4 years ago, that, you know, that I had made it over that particular hill. Say, nope, 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 you still gotta, like I thought I was in a place of, okay, now I just gotta maintain. Say, no, that wasn't quite what that was, unfortunately. It seemed like it. It seemed like it, but it wasn't, you know. So I've learned. I've learned. But I feel good about, my grown woman self, you know. I don't feel as lost as I did 5 years ago. 5 years ago on my birthday, my mama was in the hospital, and my sister had called me to come up there to, I guess, be the voice of reason for my mother, or our mother, because she was starting to do and say crazy things. And in hindsight, we know that it was, her body was failing, and her body was failing. Her mind was too, a little bit. And in hindsight, no, not in hindsight, because I felt it at the moment too. My mother had this high pitched voice. And if she did nothing else, she was always good for showing a bunch of love and affection, hugs, kisses, all of that. And every year she would call us on her birthdays. If we weren't in her presence, now if we were in her presence, she would come and, lay all over us, hugs, kisses, singing, and, singing off key, happy birthday, and she would remix it in her own special way. Well, 5 years ago on this day, on my birthday, when I went to go see her at the hospital, she didn't sing. I said, Mama, it's my birthday, and you acting like this. I don't think it fully registered in her head that I said it's my birthday, because every other year of my life, every single year of my life, this lady, if I wasn't in the house with her, for her to come sing to me in person, she would call me and sing to me. So I knew something was up then. I knew. I knew. And sure enough, 2 months later, she was gone. And I felt so lost. And I wasn't, you know, I just wasn't sure of a whole lot, because my life was in huge state of upheaval. I mean, you want to talk about a tower moment. That's what my life was at that time. And so this lady right here, the Mama Gaia card, is bringing me to tears right now, because I'm thinking about all of this stuff. And I'm thinking about how I'm still here. 50 pounds heavier than what I was 5 years ago. But it's okay. It's okay. But also, this card signifies good things ahead, and so I'm very optimistic. I am very optimistic. I just feel good today overall. And even for the tears of sadness, the tears of stress and anxiety, the tears of happiness, I'm happy. I'm grateful for all the tears. I'm grateful for the cramps. I'm grateful for the period cramps. I'm grateful for, the time when I didn't have my period. And, I to this day, I still don't know why I went months without having it. And then when I did have it, I bled for what felt like forever. And TMI, but as a result of that, I learned more about minerals and herbs that would do my body good, and birth control and stress that contributed to the 50 pounds. You know, but I've learned, and like I said, I'm still here. I'm still here. So, beauty and aging, beauty and experience. That's what. That's what today for me. Aside from the fact that I'm just celebrating me and my greatness, but that's what it's about. It's finding the beauty in all of it, and even being this fluffy lady with a bird on her hand. She's one with nature, and the sunset behind her, with her hair wrapped up. Like, that's me. And also, this brings to mind something that just happened the other day. The red birds, cardinals are in abundance over here, and they seem to have come back out, at least for a little bit anymore, or maybe I've just been noticing them more lately. But the other day I was coming home and I pulled into my parking spot, and there was a red bird right there in my parking spot. And I have come to associate red birds, cardinals with my ancestors, or my loved ones who have passed on. So they have been heavily, heavily. I don't know who that was. I don't know which one of them it was, but they right there in my parking spot, like, hey. Like, even when I pulled up, like, I stopped shy of hitting it, and I was like, okay, hey, I see you. But it's that, I mean, that bird sat there for a few seconds before it finally flew away. Like, I wasn't trying to pull into my parking spot. But it's like, once I said, I see you, that's when the bird left. So, yes, being one, being in harmony, being in togetherness, you know, not being hung up on, well, I'm not as young as I was yesterday. Like, no, everybody don't get a chance to even get to this point. And I'm praying that I will be able to have all the years that my folks have told me I'm going to have. So, anyway, I just thought I'd share that because that touched me. I mean, it was a message for me, but if there's even one person who hears that message and they take something from it, then I've done what I was supposed to do. So, happy birthday, fellow Scorpios. Happy unbirthday to everybody else. And yeah, just find the beauty in everything.